Hey everybody, hope you're having the best day. It's Coach Felicia. I'm really excited to be here today to talk about a really important kind of self-development topic and how it pertains to your overall well-being. Because when you hear, self-development, personal development, different things like that, we don't always think of it when it comes to our health and well-being. But today I'm going to really help you understand how everything ties in, and I'm going to be sharing some very real situations that have recently happened in my life and things that have been affecting me, and I had to literally go through this. It's funny how the universe has things happen at the same time that, you're going to be speaking about something or learning about something, and then the actual situation arises. But it's going to make a huge difference in your overall life. If you do not know me, I'm Coach Felicia. Like I said, I have been with V-Shred going on 6 years. I have been a personal trainer, nutrition coach for 12, going on 13 years. And then I have a laundry list of specializations in my wheelhouse. But at the end of the day, my love and passion is helping each and everyone figuring out how to find their healthy way of life, and that doesn't look the same for every single person. So I help them deep dive into their emotional, their mental, their just different well-being levels, so that the way they can flourish, on a scale, yes, but also in their day-to-day personal life, okay? So today I'm going to be talking about, like I said, something that will change everything for you if you let it. And that's choosing your hard, and why personal development is a secret weapon for leveling up in every area of life. Because the truth is, guys, everyone has a hard. Everyone does. It's hard to change your habits. It's hard to stay the same and feel stuck. It's hard to get disciplined. It's hard to keep starting over. It's hard to have structure. It's hard to live in chaos. So the question really isn't, how do I avoid hard? The question is, which hard are you choosing? So I'm going to say this gently but clearly. If you don't choose your hard on purpose, life will choose it for you. And that definitely resonates in my life because I've lived it. I live it more often than I'd like to. Okay? 1 second. Sorry, my mama was trying to call me. Love her. So I'm going to share with you a very personal story, because I think that's where you guys can really grow, is knowing that your trainer or the person you're listening to goes through similar things, and we have to confront it. So recently I was dealing with a relationship issue that was affecting my daughter. Okay, my daughter was going through it. And as a mom, that really hits different. I can deal with relationship issues when they're mine. But when it's my daughter going through it, it just gets deeper into your soul, mentally, emotionally, physically. It doesn't just stay in my head, whatever, right? It moves to my chest, keeps me up at night, anxiety, depression, all of that stuff that I'm trying to help my daughter overcome. And it's really consuming. And thankfully, after months and months, my daughter was able to get this issue resolved. The whole entire class, it was able to get resolved on one side. And then my husband met with the dad of this child. And, my daughter's okay now. Things are much better. But it really affected me. Watching someone that I love, I'm not going to cry. I could, but I won't. Someone that I love go through this, and to be in agony every day, not wanting to go to school, having psoriasis, having all these issues. It was really hard. And seeing her better now has been great. But the problem is, I didn't resolve the issue. I was letting the issue hang over me because I didn't talk to the mom yet. I was holding bitterness and resentment because she and I were friends, and I had reached out 5 months ago, trying to nip it in the bud, trying to resolve our daughter's They've been friends since kindergarten. Long story short, but I was holding bitterness and resentment, and I have not been sleeping. I have not been eating well. I have not been able to work out. It's been really affecting every aspect of my life. And finally, I realized that this unresolved conflict has been causing all these issues. And, it's been attacking my nervous system. It's making me feel uneasy and unsettled. And basically it's been holding me captive from being a better coach, a more active mom, just all of these things. And, I realized that this tightness in my chest, my random waves of irritation, my brain fog, feeling high and low and all over the place, I was letting this issue, this unresolved problem with this mom take root in my life. And finally, I had to just come to grips with the fact that until I resolve this issue, until I have this conversation, I cannot move forward. So I went from choosing the heart of avoiding it and stuffing it down and pretending it didn't exist and waiting for time to fix it, because this is how I was raised. I was raised to let it go. I was raised to pretend everything's fine. I was, just, it'll be fine. I finally took it by the horns and I chose the heart of, I need to have this conversation. No matter what the outcome is, I need to have this conversation with this mom so that way I can resolve this feeling, so that I can do the internal work and move forward and take responsibility for my peace. Wasn't affecting her, it was affecting me. So, I had to practice what I preach and make a personal development moment and take a step forward and being honest. So, that's what it is for me. And it's not perfectly resolved. She hasn't responded back, but I know for me, that was a step forward for personal development. That was choosing my heart. Instead of being depressed, instead of not sleeping and having that hard, I chose the heart of confrontation. So guys, personal development isn't a book. It's not this self-leadership when life is messy type thing. Sometimes it's just figuring out what is holding us back, what is more challenging, and what do I need to do to overcome this so I can move forward in my life. So the hard you avoid doesn't disappear. It collects, and it collects with interest, guys. So what's wild, super wild, is avoiding hard doesn't make life easier. Me avoiding this conversation has made my life harder. It just delays the hard and makes it heavier later. I could have been feeling so much better last week, but I chose not to. So if you avoid the hard part of planning meals, getting movement in, going to bed on time, drinking water, okay? So much water is in here. I literally have hit 50 fluid ounces of water because I realized that I need to up what I can up so I feel better. Setting boundaries, having the uncomfortable conversations that we don't want to, right? Okay? Telling the truth even to yourself, asking for help. You don't get relief if you don't do these things. You just get more debt. And the debt, if you don't confront, if you don't meal prep, if you don't get movement in, the debt shows up as fatigue, inflammation, cravings, weight gain, mood swings, anxiety. I don't feel myself. I cannot tell you how many times I have said that to my husband in the past week. I just said, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like Felicia. I don't feel like I am living up to my potential. I don't feel like I am able to give. And, you might even say, I don't even recognize myself anymore. And the painful feeling of watching time go by while you keep saying Monday, all of those things are from avoidance of not doing those things that I mentioned, of dealing with stress directly, setting boundaries, drinking water, having the uncomfortable conversations. You wind up paying more than you want to, okay? So let's call it for what it is. Short-term comfort of ignoring all those things and delaying becomes long-term pain. And that's why we're going to be talking about personal development today and how to make it applicable. My relationship with my husband has not been great because of what I've been putting off, and had nothing to do with him, had to do with what I was dealing with on another personal level. So personal development is not self-help fluff. It's not fluff. It's self-leadership. A lot of people hear personal development and think books, podcasts, motivational quotes, journaling, and those can help. Don't get me wrong. I love journaling. I love podcasts. I love books. I love motivational things on my headphones. But let me redefine what they are so you can be better for it. So personal development is learning how to lead yourself, plain and simple. How do you lead yourself? It's learning how to regulate your emotions instead of eating them. It's keeping promises to yourself. You're stopping negotiating with your goals. You're setting boundaries without guilt. I had a conversation with somebody in our Zoom today about that. It was huge. Responding instead of reacting. So taking a breath, collecting your thoughts, and not speaking out of the emotion. Stay consistent when motivation disappears, because we're not going to always feel motivated. It has been cold and snowy and gross outside in Pennsylvania for 6 weeks. I am not motivated, okay? Even as a coach, even when it's my job, it does not mean that I'm a superhuman or a hero. I am still a girl or a woman, right? I still have things going on in my life. So, I have to stay consistent with my water, with my food. I actually drink some. Even when I'm not motivated, I just have to make it happen. And then doing the next right thing, even when you don't feel like it. What has your coach told you over the months or over the years? What are the anchors? What are the non-negotiables? Something that I always say to my clients is, okay, here's our anchors. It's our protein anchor, water anchor, movement anchor. That's it. We just hold to those 3. The other thing I say is, you can have a day. You can have a garbage, gross, excuse my French, but crappy day. You can. But we don't let it become a garbage 2 days. We don't. We just nip it in the bud and we move forward. Okay? Because motivation is a feeling, but self-leadership is a skill. It's a skill set. And skills can be trained. You can train yourself. So here's the game changer. Your problems don't change. And this is going to be from a weight loss perspective for a second. Your problems don't change when you lose weight. You just meet them differently. Some of you think that the goal is, if I could just lose weight, I'd be confident. If I could just look different, I'd be happy. If I could just get to the goal, then life would be easier. But can I be super real with you as someone who's thought that, lived that more times than I'd like to say? A goal weight won't fix a mind that's constantly at war with itself. If you don't grow, the same patterns follow you into a smaller body. Self-sabotage, emotional eating, inconsistency, all or nothing thinking, quitting when life gets hard. So yes, we're changing the body, but we're doing it by changing the person. Because if you become the kind of person who can keep showing up, you can win, and I mean this genuinely, you can win in any aspect of life. I don't know when this happened for me in my life, because I've always had a little bit of self-doubt or self-sabotage or just different bad patterns that I had at a very young age. They became a pattern in my teenage years, young adult years, and then early marriage years. I never learned to fix certain bad patterns, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's been over, honestly, the past 7 years that I've learned to my husband is very good at this, but identifying patterns of behavior that were hindering me. They were not allowing me to grow as a nutrition coach and personal trainer. They were not allowing me to grow proper relationships. It was not allowing me to be able to pick myself up by my bootstraps. The old Felicia would have something happen at work or with a client or with a friend or with a family member. And instead of being able to properly emote and be able to read it and identify, okay, this is truth. This is where I can grow. And then this is not truth. I can throw that out. I would spiral. I would emotionally break down, and I would not be able to glean anything good. I would just be like, I'm terrible. I'm the worst. Da 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 da. And that is a really bad habit and pattern of self-sabotage that I grew for years and years and years. And I would say about 4 years ago is when I really learned to be like, this is not how I can ever be and how I would want my girls to be. If my girls are looking at how mom handles problems and, obstacles and dealing with the hard things, I don't want them to shut down every time they have conflict. I don't want that for them. And the more that I learned to be able to navigate my emotions and to properly handle situations, that's when I started to really grow and shine as a mom, as a friend, as a leader in violin and the coffee shop and with V-Shred. And I'm not saying that things got easier, but I learned to choose, do I want to delay these confrontations? Do I want to delay these conversations and feel like crap for 3 weeks? Or do I just need to have these conversations, put it out there, learn where I made mistakes and move forward? Or do I want to just wait 3 weeks and then have that happen when I could just nip it in the bud? And I just learned that that's not the kind of heart that I want to have. I want to have these conversations. I see my mistakes, I admit them, and I move forward. And that's just how we have to be as individuals. So choosing your heart looks like choosing your future over choosing your feelings. Choice number 1, it's hard to wake up and go for a walk. It is. It's also hard to feel stiff, tired, and frustrated in your body. Choose your heart. It's hard to meal prep or plan. It's also hard to feel out of control and regret every single night. Choose your heart. It's hard to go to bed on time and stop scrolling. It's also hard to live tired, inflamed, and craving sugar. Choose your heart. It's hard to set boundaries with people who drain you. It's also hard to live a resentful and depleted life. And when I say that, people who drain you, it doesn't make them bad people. They could be wonderful people. But it also means that you could also be hurting yourself having these relationships or putting so much into them. Both can be true. It's hard to face what's weighing on your mind, like I've been dealing with. It's also hard to carry it for weeks and to let it slowly wreck your sleep, appetite, your patience, and your progress. Choose your heart. And guys, I'll be very honest, today I had that conversation with that mom and I feel so much better for it. My anxiety is better. Everything is just lighter and I feel less anxiety. It's so much just better in the past hour that this has happened. So again, just choosing your heart is a great insight to your life. And I know what some of you are thinking, Felicia, I'm already tired. I don't have extra energy for hard. And I hear you, but the truth is we're choosing the hard. We're not choosing the hard. We're choosing worth it. You're going to have to battle hard either way. It's hard to be overweight. It's hard on your knees. It's hard on your joints. It's hard on just getting up and down out of bed. So again, choose your heart is honestly what you're living right now, regardless. You're just going to be living a happier version of choosing your heart. And you don't need a massive overhaul, guys. You need a minimum standard. This is one of the biggest reasons people don't succeed. You might think that the only way to move forward is perfect meal planning, perfect workouts, perfect week, perfect schedule, perfect motivation. So when life throws us a curveball, that's when we decide it's over. And I want to give you a new mindset of minimum standard days. Like I said, I talk to my clients about anchors. Let's talk about minimum standards. On a messy day, your job is not to be perfect. It's not. Your job is to keep the chain unbroken. So here's a very minimum standard, but they're my non-negotiables, and you've already heard them, but I'm going to ask you to write them down. Protein anchor, water, movement, even if it's 10 minutes. If you do those 3 things, you are still in the game. And when you stay in the game long enough, the momentum will come back. The momentum will return. Your brain will always try to protect comfort. Expect it. The voice in your head will say, you deserve a break. Start tomorrow. One won't hurt. You already messed up. Why bother? You're too tired. It's not working anyway. The voice isn't proof that you're broken. It's your brain trying to protect energy and avoid discomfort. So your job isn't to silence it. Your job is to lead. Your job is to lead anyway. Grown-up discipline sounds like, I hear you, and we're still doing the thing. If you've ever been in a Zoom with me, you probably have heard that. When I hear people say, I don't like water, or it's cold, I go, I hear you, but we're doing it anyway. Because we might not feel like drinking water, but your body needs it to survive. It doesn't matter what you feel like. You might not be in the mood to exercise or go for a walk. I hear you, but we're doing it anyway. It's that kind of self-discipline, tough love that I have for you right now and my clients, but you also have to do that for yourself. Silence it. Lead your life. The identity shift. Stop asking, how do I lose weight? And start asking, who do I become? Who do I become? Lasting change doesn't come from a diet. It comes from an identity shift. Instead of, I'm trying, say, I'm the kind of person who keeps promises to myself. I keep those promises to myself. Instead of saying, I always mess up, I want you to say, I'm learning how to recover faster. Instead of saying, I fell off, say, I had a moment and now I'm back. Your words shape your identity, and your identity shapes your habits. I really hope you're hearing me when I say all these things, because we all go through this, and it's important to figure out how to stay on track. The heart that changes your life is consistency, not intensity. Your results don't come from your best day. They come from your most consistent days. You don't need to crush a 60-minute workout. You need to walk when you don't feel like it. You don't need to be perfect with macros. You need to hit proteins most days. You don't need to never eat off the plan. You need to stop turning one meal into a lost week. Consistency is boring. Consistency is unsexy. Consistency is the hard most people will not choose. But consistency is the hard that gives you freedom. Leveling up spills into every area of life. So this is not just about fitness and nutrition and all of that stuff. When you learn how to do the hard things in your body and your habits, it spills into relationships, parenting, work, faith, confidence, emotional regulation, stress management, and self-respect. Because you start to trust yourself. Self-trust changes everything. Here are some really simple, effective tools I want to give you because I've used them in my life and I really hold dear to them, and they've made a huge impact on my clients' life as well. Tool number 1 is the 24-hour rule. Don't let a slip last more than 24 hours. Reset fast, or I call it the 2-day rule. Number 2, the 10-minute starter. Low motivation day, do 10 minutes. Keep the chain alive. I didn't want to do that yesterday. I wanted to stay in bed and I wanted to cry all day. But I didn't. I got up, I did everything I was supposed to. I didn't eat as much as I should have, but I did my 10 minutes on the treadmill. I did everything I was supposed to do. Keep the chain alive. Tool number 3, plan your hard. Decide ahead of time when you'll move, what your protein anchor is, where your water is. And again, I put this in a Moscow Mule cup, but it's still water. It drinks the same. Put it in a fun cup if you need to. I've had clients put their water in a giant wine glass, whatever gets you drinking your water. Tool number 4, the I'm not behind script. I'm not behind. I'm building. Shame kills momentum. Don't shame yourself. Stop. Stop doing it. Replace game over with reset. You don't start over. You reset. You're not starting from 0. You're starting from experience. I have these conversations all the time, whether they've been with me 4 months, a year. Life happens. Life gets messy. And the thing that I had with my client Delinda today is, she goes, just knowing that we have a Zoom coming up, just knowing that the Felicia is in the back of my mind, reminding me to keep going, to stay on. She goes, that's what keeps me from falling into a chip eating frenzy. And that's super important. So I want to speak this over to you and write it down if you need to. You are not weak because life feels hard. You are human. But you are capable of change. And the moment you decide to choose your heart on purpose, you take your power back. So this week, I want you to ask yourself one question every day. Which heart am I choosing today? Because the heart you choose today is building the life you'll live later. So I really appreciate you that popped on and off, and for you that stayed on the entire time, I know who you are. That's huge. Personal development isn't extra. It's foundational. So let's choose the hard that's worth it. So I hope today this really kind of spoke to your mind, your innermost parts of you, because it's something that I know for me has made a huge impact just today in itself. And I didn't even know that I was going to speak about my personal experiences and what I've had to overcome with this relationship. But I think it's really important for you guys to know where I'm at as a human being, as an individual. And I look forward to hearing from you guys, to hear, what's been going on. Annalie, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. But yeah, let me know if I can help any of you guys with anything going on. You can feel free to private message me, comment, anything like that. But I just appreciate you taking the time to listen to me today. And I hope it resonated, even if it was just one of you. I appreciate you guys, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.